Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a really interesting segment for you today, something I'm sure you've thought about but haven't done anything about yet. And I want you to meet George and Ann Retzloff, and you are with Windy City Home Inventory. George, you have a big background in insurance.
Correct.
And that's going to lead me into another question for you, but hang on, I want to let everyone know that Ann has a big background with finance from a Fortune 100 company. So you guys are incredibly qualified to run Windy City Home Inventory. George, tell me a little bit about what that is so we all get going on the same page.
We help our clients protect their personal property assets. Insurance companies recommend that you have a list of your personal property in the event you have to file a claim because of lost or damaged personal property. You can use this list to substantiate your claim. If you don't have that list, of course, it's much more difficult.
And we all think that list is right here. My list of what's in my house is right here, and that's probably not what you guys would recommend. Yeah.
Correct, and you're like most people.
Yes, I am.
Most people have not taken the time or don't have the time to produce this list.
Or I think necessarily know how to do it or what would be valued. That's why I think you guys are onto something here.
Correct. So that's what we do.
Okay.
We perform home inventories for our clients, and we produce a detailed list of their personal property.
And this is so timely because we've just had those big rains here in Naperville, and a lot of people lost their basements. And it's just amazing.
Yes, Liz, just recently
Yeah.
I saw Governor Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
He was on television and he was speaking just following the floods that occurred in April. And the governor stood there and he was urging all Illinois residents to maintain documentation of their personal property.
And you're like, yes.
Yes, that's exactly what our company wants our clients to do.
How many people actually have an inventory? Not that many, I would imagine. I think you guys are.
No.
I would say very few people have home inventories, and I think there are very, very few companies in the country that perform the same duties that we do.
And I mean, you've told me, when you say personal property, I think of, I think of the electronics of in my home, in my basement that might have gotten washed out recently. How would you define personal property? Is that jewelry or is that everything?
Well, from an insurance standpoint, personal property does include jewelry. It does include the electronics. It includes basically everything that is not attached to the house structure. And that would include refrigerators, furniture, dining room sets, bedroom sets, china, silverware, etc.
Now, everyone, we're thinking, okay, great. I'm thinking I could do this, and I probably get in one room and just get overwhelmed. So, but why is this important that I do this?
Well, disasters happen all the time, and even though we don't have to worry about tornadoes, we don't have to worry about earthquakes or hurricanes. We can be impacted by tornadoes and windstorms and house fires, burglaries, thefts, and floods. So any one of these can cause tremendous damage to our personal property.
When we were talking offset, you mentioned, Ann, what the most common disaster was. That's something, and tell me what that.
We were talking earlier about it. The most common disaster, believe it or not, is a house fire. And according to the statistics, it occurs every 85 seconds.
Wow. And
it's mainly caused by cooking.
Well, yeah, right. I'm like thinking, okay, no more cooking for Liz. I guess I'll just have to eat out. How long does it take to do this? And is it one visit?
Yeah, we do it in one visit. We first take a tour of a house when we first arrive at our client's house, and then we go from room to room and we document and photograph all of the personal property items. We try to do it in a very expeditious manner, and it takes normally around 3 to 4 hours to complete that inventory. Then we take that information back to our office and enter it into our proprietary software, produce the reports. Then within a week after we have had our on-site inventories, we contact our client, set up an appointment, and deliver their report.
Wow, that's very thorough. And I would imagine, are we surprised at how much stuff we have and how valuable it is?
People don't realize that, especially with electronics, iPads and everything electronic, it adds up, and you don't want to make a mistake by not including that in your report, and that's why we come in and do it for you.
I think it's wonderful that you guys provide this for me and you get photos. That's so awesome. And so I get this report. Where should I put this report? If I put it in my house and I have a house fire, the report's gone. I could put it in a safe deposit box if I had one that's a little cumbersome. But do you guys keep that information? Could I come back? Could I call you guys up and say, hey, disaster struck, what do I do now?
Yes, it's exactly what occurs.
Okay.
We keep all of the information for our clients on our own computer. It is not web-based, and we make a backup of that information on a daily basis, and we store it off-site in a safe deposit box. The only reason we have that information kept is to produce an additional report for our clients or to update it with additions or deletions based on personal property changes that they have. So we are always available to produce a report for them. In addition, we can provide a copy of their data on CD and a copy of the software so that they can look at the information themselves and maintain it themselves on a go-forward basis. We recommend that they still have a copy of one or the other, paper or CD, kept off-site, like in their safety deposit box.
Right, well, these days you can't seem to have enough security for your data because, I mean, this is really important data, so it's nice to hear that you guys take such good care of it. And it's also amazing just how many copies you have to have, and you have to protect it. It's very valuable stuff that we just don't realize we have sometimes.
Exactly, and even though we do have all of this information, we do not share it with any other entity.
And I would imagine that you guys are always on demand, but what other uses can I use this home inventory for? I bet there's something I can do more than just wait for, well, hope disaster doesn't strike, but if it, you know what they say, if you're ready for it, it never happens. It's sort of like when you get those new boots for the winter and it never snows. Yeah. So if you get a home inventory, you're going to be safe. But what else can I use this for? I imagine this is very helpful information.
Yeah, there are several other uses for the report. You can use it to substantiate losses that you claim on your income tax return. You can use it for estate planning.
Really
you
good.
can use it for documenting any losses from a move or relocation. And in the unfortunate event of a divorce, you can use it for disposition of assets.
True. But it's just, I think, a really great idea to know what you have. It's sort of knowing what you have and then keeping it updated. And you two come in and help me do all that. I think that's wonderful. You guys are the nicest people in the world. So I appreciate it. I hope you learned a lot. I sure did. It's Windy City Home Inventory. We're going to be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.